Welcome everyone to the Town of Wakefield Board of Appeals meeting for June 11th, 2025. Remind people that the meeting is being recorded. It will be available on the town's website in a couple of days. We'll start with the roll call of board members. Chip Tarbell,
Here.
Dave Hatfield,
Present.
Joe Pride,
Here.
Kasumi Humphries,
Yeah.
Greg Demersion,
Here.
Kirsten Brown,
Here.
Mitt, I'm doing a roll call. Do you want to answer? I see your picture up there. You want to, I'll note that he's here, even though he hasn't.
Don't see his audio connected yet, Mr. Chair, but yeah.
Yeah.
For some reason, yeah.
But I see his presence online here. So with that, I'll ask Joe Pride, who's the clerk of the board, to read the legal notice, please.
Sure thing, Mr. Chair. Consistent with the governor's orders extending certain provisions of the open meeting law, every effort will be made to allow the public to view and or listen to the meeting in real time. If you do not have a camera or microphone on your computer, you may use the following dial-in number 1-301-715-8592. Meeting ID 830-7824-9648, passcode 419127. Please only use dial-in or computer, not both, as audio feedback will distort the meeting. This meeting will be audio and video recorded. In compliance with the Americans with Disabilities Act, this location is accessible to people with disabilities. Wakefield provides reasonable accommodations and or language assistance free of charge upon request. If you are a person with a disability and require information or materials in an alternate format, or if you require any other accommodation, please contact the Town Disability Coordinator, William Renault, Town Engineer, at 781-246-6308 as far in advance of the event as possible. Every effort will be made to grant your requests. Advance notification will enable the town to make reasonable arrangements to remove an accessibility barrier for you. 1. Continued hearings. 2. 25-44 Sunoco LLC, CNO KE Andrews and Company, application for a modification of 2 previous granted variances by the Board of Appeals filed with the Wakefield Town Clerk on September 9th, 1999 and April 12th, 2000 to furnish and install one new sign. The property is shown as map 41, lot parcels 022-21A of the assessors map and is located at 481 Salem Street. 3. 25-45, 25-46 Best Realty LLC, application for a special permit under Article 7, Section 190-36C of the Wakefield zoning bylaw, seeking a special permit to allow for reductions in the requirements and or standards of off-street parking and loading under Article 7 of the Wakefield zoning bylaw. Application for a special permit and site plan approval in conjunction with pursuit to Article 4, Section 190-23 and Article 8, Section 190-44 of the Wakefield zoning bylaw to allow for a fast food use. The property is shown as map 12. Lot parcel 243B4 of the assessors map and is located at 139 Albin Street. 3. 25-47 Joseph Tavano, trustee of the 45 Nahat Street Realty Trust, application for a determination and or finding with respects to a continuation and extension of non-conforming uses under Article 9, Section 190-50 of the Wakefield zoning bylaw to raise an existing single-family dwelling and reconstruct a new two-family dwelling. This property is shown as map 19, lot parcels 54C of the assessors map and is located at 44 Nahat Street, Board of Appeals.
Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome.
Moving on to our agenda, the first up is continued hearings. We have one on the agenda tonight. I did get a letter from Attorney Brian McGrail. It's Wakefield Living LLC, case number 2543. Letters dated today. Dear Mr. Chair, please continue this matter until your meeting on June 25th. And then we're still working on draft language for the sunset and specific occupant provision as requested by the board. So looking for a motion to continue the matter to our meeting on the 25th.
I move that we continue this to the meeting on the 25th.
Seconded by Joe. With that, regular voting members, Chip,
Yes.
Joe,
Mr. Chair, sorry, I missed the substance of the meeting last time, obviously, and the discussion at the last meeting. And so my intention was, I thought they were coming back basically just to vote. So my intention was to defer my vote at your discretion to one of the alternate members. So I'll defer, any votes to continue and then at that hearing to vote on it at your discretion. I just want to put that out there now.
I think you can vote to continue, Dave. It's just a procedural thing, so.
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to put it out there in case there was procedurally you want to handle it a different way. Okay.
No,
So
that's fine.
I'm,
Thank you, though.
then I move to continue then.
All right, Kasumi,
Yes.
I vote yes. It's unanimous. That matter is continued to the 25th. Next up. Case number 2544 Sunoco LLC, care of K.E. Andrews and Company at 481 Salem Street. Is there someone here to represent that project? Carolyn Parker, I see your hand raised.
Yes.
Okay,
Good
proceed.
evening. So basically, back in 1999, Sunoco changed their image of their gas stations. And at that time, where I used to work, it's kind of funny, went before the Board of Appeals and received a variance for site signage. Then at that time, the gas station had service bays. So they received a wall sign that was like an ultra service center sign. Then in 2000, they converted the site to a convenience store. So at that time, they went back to the zoning board to change out the sign that was the ultra sign to, a plus sign. So now, 20-something years later, Sunoco has a new image. So because we had previous variances, we needed to come back in front of you. We're going from, you're allowed 3 signs. The last 2 variances gave us 4 signs. There is, if you look at the drawings, an arrow, a yellow arrow on the canopy that's going to be next to the word Sunoco. And the building inspector is considering that signage. So that would increase us from 4 signs to 5 signs. Basically, when we were first approved, the first variance, we were allowed 133.36 square feet. When the second variance went out, it lowered it to 107.86, much smaller sign on the convenience store. Now with the total 5 signs, we'd be at 122.14, which is well within the original variance that we received for this gas station. Any questions?
Okay, before I go to members of the board, I do have correspondence from town departments, from DPW Engineering Department, from Chief Sullivan at Wakefield Fire Department, and from Elaine Breland at the Conservation Commission. None of them have any comments on the application. With that, I'll open it up to the board for questions, comments.
Mr. Chairman, or whoever's presenting, can they share a screen to show us where all the signs are and walk us through it,
Can
Carolyn?
you put your presentation up, Ms. Parker?
Well, I'm gonna try because this is my first time. So let's
Okay.
see. Share.
That was going to be my question, Mr. Chair, while she does that, because we got 2 sign plans in the application, right? From 2 different sign vendors. So I just wanted to make sure it was clear what exactly we were being asked to consider. Because it looks like a whole sign package. And yet
Yes. So
what
let
you're
me
saying is
just,
basically a yellow arrow. So it looks like there's an updated to the branding and there's 2 different sign plans. So I just want to make sure we understand it. Thank you.
okay. I have to put it on my screen. So just give me 1 minute, please. I apologize. I've never done it before. Okay, there it is.
And Carolyn, the other thing you didn't do is tell us who you're
Oh, yeah.
working for and all that.
Oh, I apologize. My name is Carolyn Parker. Carolyn Parker Consulting. I'm representing Sunoco. I'm in Worcester, Mass. So here we have it. There it is. Okay, so basically this is my letter, my application. I'm just gonna make it a little smaller. It's a little big. That's basically my
I
application.
think what folks are looking for is the actual pictures of the sign.
Yep, that's what I'm getting to. All right, so this is basically the freestanding sign. We are maintaining the location, the height, the overall square footage. It's
Can you
just,
I'm sorry, can you rotate that so we can see it in the proper?
do it again. How's that?
Thank you.
There we
So
go.
this is the old image with the A plus, with the rainbow type thing, Sunoco. So basically maintaining the overall square footage, heights, LED prices already there. Are we good?
Board members, any question about the changes here?
Do we have a site plan that shows where all these signs are on the site? I know we
Yeah,
have one, but
so right here, if you look at the next page, that's my site plan. The sign is over here. The canopy's there and the building is there. So now this is what this gas station looks like now with the rainbow on the thing. We have a blue canopy with two Sunocos, one on each side. So what we're gonna do now is we want to put the Sunoco with the arrow on the front of the street. And then we'll have one Sunoco with the arrow on the other side, because the freestanding sign will be on the other. The freestanding sign is over here, so we want that other sign over there. Square
Can you
footage,
blow that up a bit
what's
for
that?
us, Carolyn? Can you blow it up a little bit? So I'm having trouble with the site plan.
With the site plan? You guys
Yeah.
have copies, right?
oh yeah, but we have public that like to see it too,
Oh, okay.
that don't have copies.
So here's our site plan.
Yeah.
So this is the canopy, underground fuel storage tanks. This is where the freestanding sign is, and that's the building. So because the freestanding sign is over here, people coming this way, they want the Sunoco on this side so that people coming that way will know.
But
So basically the, building inspector is considering this yellow arrow a sign. One town says it isn't, one town says it is. So that's where we're getting the additional sign from. And then these are just, I'm gonna reduce it a little. These are just the dimensions of the signs.
But you're replacing all of these signs?
What's that?
You're replacing all of these signs?
Yes,
Are you-
Sunoco has a new image. So what we call it is we're gonna reskin the overhead canopy.
Mm-hmm.
So the structure remains and they just take off the fascia and they put a new fascia up. And so all that other stuff will go away.
So all the Sunocos with the arrows become Sunoco with the yellow arrow.
Well, back, the other canopy just had the word Sunoco. Some gas stations had the big rainbow like you saw on the front of the building, but you guys probably didn't allow that because some people counted that for square footage back in the day too. So we're gonna have one sign, the Sunoco with the arrow, the Sunoco with the yellow arrow, the word Sunoco. And then the building, basically the building had a big kind of rainbowy fascia. That's gonna become all blue, and then one A+ sign over the entrance. And that's just what it looks like in a plan view. And there's your A+ sign.
What did that previous page just show? It was just blue.
It's just showing the sizes of the ACM panel that they're gonna reskin the building with.
Okay. Okay. But
And
now we're into a different sign plan. This is Pro Signs doing this stuff. So
yeah,
again, we
Pro
got a mix
Signs.
of two different companies contributing to
Yeah,
this.
only the Pro
Yeah.
Sign does certain parts and then the freestanding sign comes from somebody else.
Okay.
Any questions?
And that what we're seeing on screen is only on the front of the building.
That's only on the front of the building, correct? So that was my first time sharing and I figured it out.
So,
All right,
Mr.
board
Chairman,
member-
I know in
Comments,
the past,
questions? Yeah,
I know in the past, we would take the Sunoco plus the yellow arrow if we wanted to consider that to be all one sign and look at the square footage there. I mean, I don't have a problem with it, but we take it and that whole thing would be a rectangle. So I was concerned there was a lot more signage going up. There really isn't. It's still, in my mind, kind of four signs. It just that one with the yellow arrow has just become a little bigger. And I can see how the building inspector might call that two. I would call it one and draw the rectangle around the whole thing. But it doesn't really matter in regards to we're getting so much less on the building as well, because if we did it to what our standards would be, that whole rainbow would be part of the sign and identification now,
Right.
how we normally look at things.
And some canopies had, NASCAR on them and the rainbows on them and everything. So this is pretty basic and simple and a lot of blue.
I agree. I see Dave's hand up. Go ahead, Dave.
Just want to ask, nothing's changing with the pumps?
They reskin the fuel dispensers also. If you look at if you look at this drawing here, they just reskin the canopy. I mean, the dispenser. So the Sunoco down the bottom is now on the top.
Where's
So
that
down
again?
the bottom is blank.
What's that?
Down the bottom is just blue.
Down the bottom is blue and it says Sunoco on the bottom. I'll blow it up a little.
So what's changing with the pumps? I'm not getting it.
You gotta
Well,
scroll,
they
if you
just,
scroll down.
they reskin them. So they had the rainbow up the top with the number and then the Sunoco down the bottom with another rainbow. So it's becoming
Just blue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're changing as well. We're getting rid of the
Yes.
rainbows, basically.
Yes. Rainbows are
Okay.
gone.
Okay.
know
I
it's
think you
Pride
may have just
Month.
gone quickly through this slide. So
Yes.
canopy's changing to add that yellow triangle on a different side. The
Right.
pumps are changing to remove the rainbows and reskin them as plain blue with the Sunoco logo with the
Right.
red arrow through it. And the
Yes.
front of the building's changing.
Yes.
And the freestanding sign's
And the
changing.
freestanding
So,
sign.
okay. So it is a complete sort of sign update, reskinning and rebranding and
Right.
of all the signs, basically. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's been 20-something years, so they get a little sad.
No, understood, but none of us
Yep.
were here then. So we just,
Yeah.
we drive by it a lot, but we just want to understand.
Unfortunately, I was.
Okay. Mm.
All right, any other questions or comments from the board? Hearing, seeing none. Carolyn, if you could stop sharing at this point.
Okay.
I'm going to open it up to members of the public. Is there anyone here from the public that wishes to comment on this application? If so, please use the raised hand function in Zoom. Sparse crowd tonight. I'm not seeing anybody, so going once, twice, three. Closing public comment for the application. Back to the board, pleasure of the board.
So, Mr. Chair, just one more question again, just to make sure we're clear. Today,
Yep.
presently, there's illumination on the canopy and there's still going to be illumination. Just want to make sure, like illumination wise, nothing's changing. What's there today is there tomorrow. We're just reskinning and rebranding.
Yes, so the signs will be illuminated, but nothing else on the canopy.
Okay, but that's what's there happening today, right?
Right.
So there's no change to that. Okay. Because I know sometimes we've done new gas stations and we've tried to avoid illuminating canopies, but
Oh, wait a minute, I apologize. And this can be, the building inspector didn't comment on it. So basically, Sunoco puts, they have a blue illuminated LED light at the bottom of the fascia. That would shine down.
on the building,
On the canopy. So around the perimeter of the bottom part of the canopy, they want to illuminate it. If you can see on the canopy, do you want me to open that back up again?
Please do.
Okay. Where'd you go?
because I saw fascia illuminated.
Yeah. So
but I
I'll
didn't see the
explain.
lights.
So if you look up here. So right here, this small blue band, they want to illuminate that. And it's just it's not bright, it's very dim. I can see if I have a canopy plan showing it illuminated.
Mr. Chairman, I can already tell you that I am fine with all the signage. I'm not fine with the LED band. The gas station right across the street tried to do this and we didn't allow it. So I would not
Okay.
allow Sunoco to do that. That makes that whole canopy a sign,
Right.
Okay.
in my opinion.
That's the reason I asked, Chip. I wanted to be clear on that,
I'm glad you did because I didn't see that as a note anywhere.
you know. With any
So
sort of
this is what
downlighting.
it would look like. Can you see that?
No, we're still seeing the sign plan.
All right, well, let me stop sharing that and then share this.
Yep. Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, no. No.
I
And-
could
and
share with
that's-
you all the comments we made on the last time somebody tried to present this, but
Okay, no, that's fine. Some people are fine, other people aren't, and
Yeah.
that's fine. Okay, we'll have that eliminated.
that's my opinion.
Yeah,
I would agree. Glad I mentioned it because I was getting ready for a potential vote, Mr. Chair. But I
It's for
wanted to
the-
be clear on illumination. So
yeah.
Was the
All
gas
right.
station on Lowell Street, did we have that illuminated or not? Just trying to think, the
Which
one we
one?
just passed. The new gas station that just got, the Noria,
no.
that canopy wasn't lit up, it's not lit up, all right.
I don't think, no, I don't,
Canopy underneath is lit, but specifically, Joe, I don't think you were on it. Irving tried to do a red band around.
yeah, everybody's trying to do it. Mobile has one, but Mobile's is at the top of the canopy and it kind of just shines down on the fascia. It's not as bad, if I can say.
No, but it's okay to have lights under the canopy. Obviously, you want.
Oh,
the
yeah,
ends
yeah,
to be
obviously,
lit.
that's
But it's
safety.
it's lighting, that LED lighting of the entire band that, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm glad I brought it up, so we didn't do it, and then you went, what? No.
Well, that's why we bring it out here. So we're not surprised and go, gee, we voted
Okay.
on that. Okay. So I'm good other than that, Mr. Chair. We can condition it and just perhaps get an updated site sign plan that just doesn't have that on it, so it's in the record.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Okay.
Just gonna need that, so, okay.
Yep.
Anybody else? Okay. Think we're ready for someone to make a motion.
So, Mr. Chair, I move that we move to modify the existing variances at the Sunoco Station at 481 Salem Street in accordance with the sign plans presented this evening from Total Imaging dated February 11th, 2025, and Pro Signs dated 3/4/25, with the stipulation that the sign plan for the showing the canopy from Total Imaging will be updated to not show the LED lighting under the canopy.
Yep.
Second that motion.
Yep, I don't think there's any conditions needed, just that note Yep,
Okay,
that's the motion.
I got it too. So, okay. Motion's been made, seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing seeing none, regular voting members, Dave,
Yes,
Joe,
Yes.
Chip,
Yes.
Kasumi.
Yes.
I vote yes as well. Thank you.
thank you.
Carol, if you could just make sure you get that updated package down to the building department, I'd appreciate that.
I will. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
thank you.
Next case. 2545-2546 Best Realty LLC located at 139 Albion Street. Mr. McGrail,
Yes, Mr. Chair, good evening, members of the board. For the record, Attorney Brian McGrail representing Best Realty LLC. With me tonight is Ryan Barry. He is the manager of the LLC, the owner of the property. And the property is at 139 Salem Street. Let me just stop by sharing my screen if I could, Mr. Chair.
please do.
Right. So 139 Albion Street is done, it's on Tuttle, it's actually on the corner of Albion Street and Tuttle Street, and that's why I wanted to kind of familiarize the board with it. You'll know the building when you see it. It has a 139 Albion Street address. That's Albion Street out here. And we're on Tuttle Street. So it's where the Bronson Insurance office was. John McCarthy had an office here, right across the street from St. Joseph Church. And actually, it's part of a condominium that not a lot of people know about. This whole strip all the way down at Tuttle Street is a condominium. This is part of the condominium, and then this strip of stores where House of Pizza is, they are all part of a condominium association. It's important to note that 139 Albion Street has the exclusive use area to the parking here. So that is their parking lot, nobody else's. Under the condominium documents, that's their exclusive use, which I'll show you a little bit more on the site plan. But just to kind of set the table on that. As you can see, this is always been, it's currently used as office, or it was with Mr. McCarthy's and Mr. Bronson's office there. Mr. Barry, through Best Realty LLC, recently purchased the property. And his desire is to maintain office where an approximate location of where Mr. McCarthy's office was. And he'd like to permit fast food in the other half of the building, in the form of a coffee shop, really, that would sell coffee, tea, drinks, cakes, cupcakes, rice pops, cookies, baked items, maybe ice cream. Just a great location for it. We have the train station here, people in the morning. You've got the church across the street. You've got the developments on Foundry Street that are happening, just a nice place for people to walk. So it wouldn't be like no cooking, no hood vent. I know the fire department made some comments on that. There wouldn't be any ovens or stove or cooktops or anything like that. Just basic baked products that they would have here. So I'm gonna stop sharing that and bring up my floor plans. So again, this is the building. This is the existing use. As I mentioned, you have two offices here. You have an existing business unit on the right, divided here, and the existing unit business on the left. This area in the basement goes with the unit on the right. Just a little bit more detail, and here's what's being proposed. The left side, which we're calling Unit 1, will be an 1,112 square foot office unit. Just blow that up a little bit. There we go. In unit number 2 is where the fast food, I guess call it a bakery, the baked good types products being sold. Will be in unit 2. It's 845 square feet, and then also it gets the 300 square foot in the basement, which would be, you know, primarily storage, or preparation type area. Want to make a note that there's nothing on the outside of the building changing except for, if you look at the existing plan, there's 2 windows that face Albion Street. Those will be eliminated because as I said no oven, but there will be an oven, but there's not going to be a hood top or a grease trap or any need for anything like that with the type of products. These are going to be big products. So in order for this, there needs to be, those windows need to be shut down. But the entrances, there'll be maybe some new windows put in, but the locations of the access and egress are not changing. We also submitted a site plan. We applied for a special permit and site plan approval because technically with a special permit, you need site plan approval, although it's pretty basic. So we did put together a basic site plan for this. So this is the site plan of the building. As I've mentioned, it's part of the condominium, but for the record, we have delineated this as our exclusive use area. It's a paved driveway parking area. When you calculate it out, you can fit comfortably for 7 cars, probably a little bit more, but for calculation purposes with your board, we're stating 7. We really don't want to stripe it. Historically, it has never been striped. I think, you know, aesthetically, there's no need to stripe it. I think, you know, across from the church and people walking in this area, you know, it's a pretty big historic paved area. And I think the stripe in parking spaces is just going to be loud and not look good in the area. So what we're looking for here is a fast
Brian,
food.
don't you have to provide handicap spaces there?
We might, Chip, and we might have to
So
mark.
that has to be striped.
Well, for that space, it would have to be striped, but not the others.
So I would, okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
We'll just table that comment for a minute.
Okay. So what we're requesting is a fast food special permit and site plan approval. I also want to note that historically in 1997, the zoning board gave a special permit for fast food use on this property. They actually gave it with a drive-up window back in 1997. And at that point, the whole building was going to become fast food, but it never got implemented and it never was, the special permit was never used and it lapsed. So we're looking for the fast food special permit and site plan approval for the aspect of the building that I showed. And we'll also have a special permit for a reduction in parking requirements to be able to park in this area. The parking calculations, the restaurant use, if you went back to the plan, we were showing 22 seats that will require 6.5 parking spaces, rounded up to 7. And then the office for the square footage calculation would be 4.5. So round that up to 5, and you got a total of 12. We're figuring, you can, as I said, you can fit approximately 7 vehicles in here. And, you know, historically in this area, the board has waived parking requirements altogether, especially as it relates to the entire strip going down. You know, you might remember historically we had a lot of uses with the remedy exchanges. There's a number of uses that have gone in there. And then also there's restaurants that have much more intense parking requirements right in this area that have no parking at all. So I think the fact that this actually has approximately 7 spaces, a place to put cars, is a bonus. And the other thing too is small office, professional office. It's only it's 1,100 square feet. If it was 100 square feet less, it wouldn't need any parking because it will be under the 1,000 square foot requirement in the bylaw. That if it's under 1,000 square feet, no parking is required in the business district. And then as far as the fast food use, I think it's going to be primarily walking. People that are going to be, you know, from the area and the church, and if people do come, they do have a place to park. With that said, we're happy to answer any questions, Mr. Chair.
Yep, before we get to the board, I do have some correspondence here from town departments. I don't know how much you've seen or not seen, Mr. McGrail, but it's a letter from Fire Chief Sullivan dated May 28th. After reviewing the application, the entire building will require a complete fire alarm system covering both fast food, restaurant, and other occupancy of the building. Fire alarm system must be monitored by an approved central station monitoring company. The building may also require an automatic fire sprinkler system depending on the requirements of the Mass State Building Code. A kitchen hood fire suppression system may also be required depending on the type of restaurant. And clearly you said that there will not be a hood, so. There's also a letter dated May 30th from Elaine Vreeland from the Conservation Commission. They have no comment. And this is the one I'm not sure you've seen, Mr. McGrail. I got this about a half hour before the meeting. I don't even know if the rest of the members got it. I didn't have a chance to share it, given the late arrival. It's from DPW Engineering Department. Are you familiar with that letter, Mr. McGrail?
DPW?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, I'm not, I don't think there'll be any issues with them. I think when people see fast food use, they anticipated something else, just like we dealt with the boba tea shop down on Main Street. You know, they think we're gonna be doing Burger King here that's gonna have, you know, grease traps and stacks and smoke and flames, and that's not the case. So we'll work that out with the appropriate departments outside of this process, if it's okay, Mr. Chair.
I don't see anything that falls within our jurisdiction here. The both grease traps and the size of water lines and so forth. So, you know, I would say though that prior to making a decision, we probably want to see that those issues are resolved with the town departments. So with that, I'll open up to members of the board. First up I see is Dave Hatfield.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, sorry, I was just making notes. So, name of the business? Are they national? Are they local? We'd just like to know, who are they? Are they, like we did with some of the other small stuff that's come up recently? One was, anyway, just curious. Do they have a name? Are they
Yeah,
local?
so
Are they
it's anticipated that there's a possibility that there's a business in town by the name of Candarella's that would want to move here. They're on Vernon Street, very successful, very popular, and they need more space. So I think it's very likely that they would be the ones that will end up in this spot.
Okay, okay. And so potentially, are we gonna come back on signage then, potentially?
Yeah, we will have to, unless we meet the requirement in the business district.
Right, right. Okay, because you didn't bring up signage, but we always know we
We'll
gotta
either
cover it at some
comply
point.
or if we don't, we'll be back.
Okay. That was it, Mr. Chair, for now.
Kasumi?
Brian, on the plan, you note in the store side, you noted ADA bathroom, but I think you're missing the bathroom. I don't know how that works with the front window.
Hey, bring it up, Kasumi, hold on, so you can reference it.
I see the dimension, but there's no walls and fixtures and stuff.
Oh, this bathroom,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, the plan is to make that ADA compliant. You know, we'll have to do that. It's gonna have to be. So, you know, those fixtures, he'll work that out through the building permit process.
So there will be like a very narrow space in front of the bathroom, between the bathroom and the window. It looks like we have 3 feet.
You're talking right in this area?
Yeah.
Let me blow it up, Kasumi, hold on. So you're talking
Feel like
in this area?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Ryan,
know
can-
if, yeah.
Ryan, can you answer this question?
yeah, there we
Ryan,
measured
why don't you
all
just
out.
Ryan, just identify yourself for the record, please.
How you doing? I'm Ryan Barry. I'm owner of Best Realty, proposing this restaurant fast food use. We had this wall measured out with the architect upon the first site visit. It's going to be approximately, I don't know if I can draw a line, but it does have the room needed. I don't know why it's not in this drawing set. I don't know if I might have given Brian the first set by mistake, but we do have the room to come in and swing around with a chair.
Okay, I just don't want to have the bathroom have a window, like a main street window.
No, absolutely not. No, it's gonna be fully, we had a wall drawn. There'll be pretty much a hallway will be formed there between the window and the bathroom.
Okay, and another question is who's gonna be using the basement, finished basement? Because in the new plan, you have only access to the basement from outside.
It's, let me see the plan here. There's actually a door. There's currently, it's gonna be access from the inside and the outside. There's a door that leads to the same hallway there.
Okay, from the store side.
From the store side, it pretty much is a walk through from the street. You can walk through into the store, or you can go right down the stairs. That's not changing at all, that footprint.
Okay. Yeah, it shows that door to go away in demo plan. So I'm just I was questioning.
Okay, I might have had a mistake on the drawing. We can fix that, but it's that the current plan that we're gonna be using is not, the stairs are gonna remain the same, everything.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Kasumi. Chip, I see a hand up.
Yeah, Brian, have you been to the Board of Health yet?
No,
Okay.
that's just an application process with them.
Okay, because I'm not sure your comment that there's gonna not need a hood for your oven is correct.
Ryan might know that because he's done a lot of due diligence on this. Ryan, do you know about?
Well, I've installed a lot of ovens
Yeah.
and none of them have ever been allowed to not have a hood.
You might have to have a vent, an exhaust vent, but not a hood. It's not gonna be it's the, I don't know.
Again,
the
it's
exact
gonna,
mathematics.
again, to my point is something's gonna be coming out of the building somewhere to exhaust something.
For
And
a
none
much
of that's
smaller
on
than a
this-
hood,
and
but
none
yes.
of that's on this plan. So I
Got
think
it.
we're gonna need to know that before we can. I think you need to dot that I and cross that T before I'd be comfortable voting on it.
Okay,
And I think I'd also like to know the handicapped parking requirement, whether that's gonna be a piece or not. And
Sure.
how you're gonna handle that in the parking lot.
I'm happy to stripe a spot, stripe whatever's required for handicapped in the parking lot.
we'll work that out, Chip.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Chip. Anybody else?
Ryan, any signage for this gonna happen? Or is this something
There'll
gonna bring up
definitely be
later? Or-
signage, as I just said, we're either gonna meet the bylaw requirement in the business district or overlay district, or we're gonna come back. And we don't know exactly what the signage is gonna be or be located. It's just premature for that.
Okay,
Pretty sure this is in the sign overlay district.
Yeah, does it stop at the railroad track or come over?
No, because remember, Chip, remember
Remax, I'm trying to think what we
Yes.
did with Remax, and I think that was in the overlay.
it's in the overlay, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the business is in that other building, yeah.
Yeah.
It might stop
Okay,
at Tuttle,
anybody else?
or, yeah, but yeah. No,
Yeah, Brian, I generally have no problem with what's going on here, other than, these minor details that were brought up. You can just talk to the town, because I don't want to condition the approvals to these letters that appear to not really reflect what you're telling us is going to be happening on the ground. From DPW and the fire. If we need some more details, as a Chip said, you're coming back, it'd be great if you could just work out with those departments. So they have a better understanding of what you're doing here. So, because I think in general, we try to condition special permits to the comments that we get from town departments. And if we did it here, I think it might be over the top for what you're trying to do.
Yep, that makes sense. Taking a look, just.
All right, any other questions or comments from the board before I open it up to members of the public? Hearing, seeing none. Is there a member of the public here that would wish to testify or comment on this application? If so, please use the raised hand function in Zoom. Seeing none, going once, twice. Okay,
Mr. Chair, I have the, just have the signage overlay map. This
okay.
is signage overlay district, and actually, it's outside, it's just outside the district.
Yeah, I did. Okay, I wasn't sure whether it came
Yeah.
over the tracks or not.
Interesting, Chip. Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
just on the other side of North Ave, but not on the Tuttle Street side.
I could have sworn it came across the street, but yep, good.
No,
Just
I
for-
remember, I'm with you, Dave. I remember doing the signage at Remax, so I don't know.
Yeah,
whether-
it was a variance at Remax, just under the old bylaw. I just looked at it.
Okay.
Not a special permit.
So the other thing that I would ask, Mr. Chair, is that Mr. McGraw could make sure he has the most updated plan so that we can see the bathroom walls and make sure that the windows aren't going into the bathroom and how that quote unquote hallway is working and all that.
And just where the venting comes out, Brian, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's needed or not.
Yeah, I just got.
Which would also be venting for the bathroom. I mean, there's a lot of things that are going to poke through the either roof and or wall.
Yep, I got my notes. So downstairs,
AC.
we'll clarify the downstairs access on the plan, as Kasumi had mentioned. We've got,
AC units, Brian. If there's new AC happening, that's probably happening up on the roof, I would assume.
No, the AC is currently in the on the left of the building. It's gonna be replaced, but the same size units.
Okay. Well, that's right. That's a pitched roof. Tough to do it on the roof.
It'll be tough, yeah. I'm trying to find an updated drawing if I can help the cause, but
It sounds like they're gonna change to finalize some of the things that we.
yeah, we've
brought
got
up
some,
tonight.
we've got a little homework to do, Ryan, which we'll do for the meeting in 2 weeks.
Can I add one more?
Yeah, go
Um,
ahead, Kristen.
If the office side is gonna be a different tenant, I think that the bathroom on that side needs to be ADA size too. Right now on the new plan, it's not. It doesn't look like it's ADA size.
there was no plan on renovating that particular side, but
But it shows the bathroom wall shows us a new wall.
mm,
We'll look,
not
we'll look at
Just
it.
yeah, if you just check.
We'll check. Yep, made the note.
And Brian, that even though you're not planning on, I'd ask Ben, because once you start doing X amount of percentage of the value of the building, the whole building has to be brought up to proper ADA standards.
Yeah, I mean,
So just-
I guess with all due respect, if we're not changing the exterior of the building, the facade, we're not changing the location of the windows, except for getting rid of 2. We're telling you what the seats are gonna be in the fast food.
You're probably not doing the dollar value that kicks it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what
checking.
I'm getting at is, I mean, the board, it's a special permit. It can be, you can make the jurisdiction whatever you want, but does the board really care what's happening on the inside? Because we're gonna have to meet code and handicap and all that through the building permit process.
I care about windows into bathrooms, yes.
Okay, that's why I asked.
And your drawing doesn't show what's happening, so it's tough for us to really understand.
Okay, it sounds like, Brian, you've heard what folks have to say.
We've got some homework assignments. Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't sound crazy, so I'm assuming you want to be back here in 2 weeks.
Yes, please.
Okay,
Mr. Chair, I move that we continue this matter to our February, geez, June 25th, 2025.
We haven't had summer yet.
No, I know. I was just looking at something and
I'll second that.
flipping between screens. I move that we continue this matter to our June 25th, 2025 meeting.
Second.
motion's been made second. Any further discussion? Hearing, seeing none. Dave,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Chip,
Yes.
Kasumi,
Yes.
I'm voting yes as well. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Okay, next up, case number 2547, Joseph Tofano, 44 Nahan Street.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For the record, Attorney Brian McGrail, representing Joseph Tavano, trustee of 44 Nahan Street Realty Trust, the owner of 44 Nahan Street. Mr. Tavano was with us tonight. as is John Ogren from Hayes Engineering, who is our site civil engineer. I think the best way to start with this is with the site plan, if I may.
Yeah, please proceed.
And what an interesting site it appears to be.
It is an interesting site, Mr. Hatfield. Yep. Unique spot. You guys can't get away from the Hunt Street, right?
Ugh.
So this is the property at 44 Nahant Street. This is the existing conditions plan that I want to prepare just to familiarize you with what's going on here. This is the existing single-family dwelling, kind of right. So here's the lot line for 44 Nahant. This is what it does. It comes down here. If you follow my asterisk, it goes here, and then it goes back. Guess what? This lot doesn't have any frontage on Nahant Street. What it does have, it has a right of way. You can see that marked out down below here. Blowing that up a little bit. This right of way delineation over the property next door at 46 Nahant Street. So that's how the access comes in and comes out.
Welcome to Nahant Street.
Yeah.
How do we
So-
ever get landlocked lots like that? But that's, I know, it's existing, but it's strange. Yeah.
And
Up and down the
strange.
Hot Street a million times in my life until I went by the other day. I had never noticed this thing.
This house back there, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, I can't even bring up kind of the street view of it because with the trees, you really can't see it. Not that it matters. So it's oddly situated on the lot, obviously, as you can see it. This property is entirely in the general residence district. And what Mr. Tavano is planning on doing is putting a more appropriate location of the house and making it a two-family, which is allowed in this district. It's obviously legal non-conforming. And we think under the standards of the bylaw in under 40A Section 6, it's a pretty straightforward finding. This is where he proposes to put the two-family dwelling, which I think is kind of more appropriate. Located, facing as much towards Nahant Street as you can. John Ogren's proposing some parking spaces for the property right here. Cars can come in, they can back around and pull out. Nice access. There's wetlands in the back. There will be a filing at the Conservation Commission that John Ogren at Hayes Engineering is preparing for. That will also need to happen for this to go forward. John prepared a zoning table. And if we can follow this through, I think actually you don't even have to get to the second prong of 190 50A because we're not intensifying or creating any new nonconformities. We always request that finding as that it's not substantially more detrimental as a belt and suspenders. So if you look at the front yard setback requirement, it's 15 feet in the general residence district. It's not applicable here because we don't have a front yard. The side yard setback is 10 feet. It's currently 3.1 feet, which I showed you where it's right on that property line of the neighbor. And we've got 3 different side yards, but we're gonna meet all of them at 17.7, 45.8, and 51. I'll take you back here. So here's the 45.8, here's the 17.7, and there's the 51.1. The house is where the parking spaces are, and that's where it's currently right on that lot line, just to go back up there. You can see that is the 3.1 right in this area. So going back to our table, the rear yard setback, the requirement in the general residence district is 20 feet. It's currently 186, and we're gonna be 138. It backs up to really nothing anyways, but we meet the requirement by far. Minimum frontage is 80 feet. We don't have any, so that's currently existing. We're not intensifying that. Lot width is the same because there's no frontage. We really can't determine what a lot width is. Very large lot in the general residence district. 8,000 square feet is required. This is a 37,544 square foot lot. Upland area, so just to show that even though it will be legal non-conforming, this lot would comply to the upland requirement in our bylaw. And I wanted to show you that because it's easy for us to say, oh, we have 37,000 square feet, but I just said there's wetlands, but we still have 22,900 of upland, which are not wetlands on the property. So it is a good size lot for that district. Coefficient of regularity is just the lot shape requirement. You have to be, whoops, sorry about that. Just lost my screen. You have to be greater than 0.65 with the calculation. We're not changing that, and it complies. Max building coverage, 35%. It's at 2.4. We're gonna be 4.2. And minimum open area is 30%. We currently have 90 and it will be 85. So we are not intensifying or creating any new nonconformities in doing this. What we also submitted, even though this is a finding, as you know, we just wanted to give you an idea, and so we showed the footprint of the house, which is on our site plan, which we're locking into. Joe also just had some rudimentary elevations drawn to kind of give you an idea, and we submitted those of what he's looking to build. And Mr. Tavano has built a number of houses in Wakefield, has a great reputation. You might remember he rezoned the property on New Salem Street, did a beautiful 2-family down there. It was rezoned at town meeting. And he's done a number of projects in Wakefield that of this nature. So this is just the front, would have a front porch unit on each side. This would be the rear elevation. And then the basic size. So kind of rectangle, and nothing fancy, pretty straightforward. There's not going to be much of a view from the street here anyways. So with that said, Mr. Chair, we're all here and happy to answer any questions that the board might have.
It's just a file for correspondence from the town. You said you're going before the Conservation Commission?
Yeah, John, could you kind of clarify what we need to do there for the board, please?
Yeah, no, we have not filed with the Conservation Commission. We're currently putting together a filing for them. It will require a notice of intent.
Yeah, you're entirely within the 100-foot buffer.
Correct.
I have no correspondence from the town, so board members, Chip, I see you hand up. Let's go to the board.
Yeah, John, I know you look at everything pretty carefully. Is there a reason you haven't pushed the house back at all? You're still pretty tight to the neighbor's front yard, backyard, and you're not where you're already in the 100-foot buffer. Is there a reason you can't go closer to the 25-foot line?
Yeah, I think, basically we were trying to keep, as far away from the wetlands as we could. As you may be aware, the 25-foot is, they'd like to see that remain, kind of in its natural state and not just.
Yeah.
They're trying to give them a little bit of room for a backyard and such.
And just out of curiosity, with as weird a shape and everything, why have you not squared the house up either to a side yard or to that back set? I mean, why did you keep the house at an angle there? Is there a reason for that?
Yeah, I think mostly because the entrance coming in is in from the right side. It's kind of facing the cars or whatever people coming in to visit the house. I don't know that we're dead set on that.
Okay, I mean, it looks like it's weird enough as it is, and now we're setting a house that's not squared up to anything either.
Joe, do you have any thoughts on that from Mr. Tabell?
It has no bearing on anything other than.
Yeah.
It looks a little weird on the paperwork. I kind of wanted it angled a little, just what John had mentioned about coming in with the parking, and also the way the sun hits it. I wanted it turned a little. I have no problem squaring it up.
Oh, okay. It was more of a question than a.
Yeah.
By the way, we don't have criteria to ask you to square it up.
Yep.
So it's more of because all this is a finding. We really can't, from what I see, you meet all the standards of a finding. So it's just more of curiosity as to why people do what they do.
Right, and that back lot, I have spoken with these neighbors. I'm not even sure if they're on the call, but that would get shrubbed out right along that back wall, right around that back where that 17.7 is. That would be shrubed out probably with some arborvitaes or something of that nature.
Yeah, so Mr. Chairman, I don't know if we need to wait to see what Concom says or not, but
For me, I'm gonna let other board members speak, but on a
Yeah.
finding like this, I just look at that zoning table
yeah,
and it
we're
meets the
fine.
criteria. So they're fine, but I don't want to preclude other board members from asking questions or making a comment. As I do see Mr. Hatfield's hand up.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. So I had a similar question about the angle of the house. You answered that already. I had a similar question about whether you talked to the abutters, again, given the odd nature of this lot and what you're planning to do, whether you've talked to the abutters. And you said you have?
You have to have a very good relationship with the abutters if you want to do a project like this.
Okay. I just want to make sure. I thought I heard you say that, but that was on my
Yeah.
mind.
Very good
And then I
terms.
had Okay, good. And I had a similar question about whether we close it with the Concom. I agree it meets the prongs for us to make a finding, but what if they go to Concom and they say, move the house, do this, then they're gonna come back to us, right?
Yeah,
So,
I don't think they have to come back to us, Dave. A finding is more or less just a table that we're agreeing that it's not more detrimental.
or they tell them to push it further front, or, I don't know. I'm just throwing it
I
out
don't
there.
think, unless it hits a zoning prong that's changed.
Yeah, I don't, John Ogan, are you concerned with that? I'm not. And we could come back for minor modification if we had to on something like that.
Yeah, I don't foresee a lot of changes from the conservation standpoint.
No, they're gonna tell you to plant things and at the 25-foot buffer, they're gonna get some plantings.
Yeah, we'd like to close it out if we can, but, if we have to, if we have to come back for minor
Yeah,
modification.
I'm fine with.
I'm fine with it. I just
Chairman, I
was
have
putting it
no
out there. I was just putting it out there. Just sometimes when there's dual filings, we keep things open just to make sure both boards are in sync, but there's been variances and permits in different aspects before us, right?
Right.
This is different, so I just wanted to put it out there. Okay, I'm good, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else from the board? Okay, at this point, I'm going to open it up to public comment. Is there anyone here from the public that would like to comment on this application? I see someone whose first name is Kayla with a raised hand. If you could come on the screen and give me your name and address.
Yes, hello, Kyla McKay Smith, 40 Nahant Street. We're the abutters in front that Mr. Tamano did indeed talk to. I appreciate it. He actually came by to deliver a package that was misdelivered. So that was, starting things off very well. Someone had mentioned maybe a concern that the proposed plan is a little too close to the back of our lot. The back of our lot actually goes into a ravine. I think it's kind of along that angle of the lot next door at number 42, between 42 and 44. So like from the back of our house right now, there's so many trees that we can't even see the existing house. And the proposed house being even further back in the summer, we wouldn't be able to see it at all. This seems like a really great sensitive plan. It's not impinging on our land at all. It is a very weird lot, but the lot behind ours was sold to the owners of 44 over 100 years ago. So I think this is a great proposal, and yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you. Anybody else? Going once, twice. Closing public comment. Back to the board. Pleasure of the board.
You're on mute, Dave.
Switching screens. Thank you. Mr. Chair, I move that we grant a finding and determination pursuant to section 19050A of the bylaw that the proposed reconstruction, changes, extensions, and alterations at 44 Nahant Street based on the plans presented this evening, the site plan from Hayes Engineering dated April 28th, 2025, and architectural renderings unnamed but dated March 21st, 2025, shall not increase the existing non-conforming nature of the structure and lot.
Seconded.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Any further
Mr. Chair,
discussion?
if I could just point of order.
Yeah,
Mr. Hatfield, would you consider also making the second prong finding, even if one were to determine?
Okay, I thought you said you were comfortable not even asking for it this evening.
No, I always ask for that, and just a belt and suspender it, that even if it was, it wouldn't be substantially more detrimental. If you would consider that, I'd appreciate it.
I would consider it. So I will amend my motion to add that not only we're making the motion that it shall not increase the existing non-conforming nature of the structure and lot, but if one were to find that the changes were to increase the non-conforming nature of the structure and lot, that we find that they would not be substantially more detrimental than the existing nonconformities to the neighborhood.
Second the amended motion.
They're suspenders.
okay. Motion's been made, seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, regular voting members, Dave,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Yep,
Yes.
Assumi.
Yes.
I vote yes, that's unanimous.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, next up. Under other matters, we have discussion of sign ordinance.
And just like that,
Pleasure of the board on
we're on.
this.
Hey, look at Jim.
We have a special guest star.
Straight from Maine, apparently.
Yeah, I'm in the woods. Escaped
All
from
right.
Brooksby.
They're looking for you. I don't know why, but
Yeah, yeah. I took an old lady with me.
So,
All right. So we've gone over Joe, do you want to jump in here then? Because you're coordinating
I
with,
just, I know Dave took everyone's comments and jumped. I mean, I don't know if I haven't really opened up that email. Have you? I think the bylaw review committee just kind of wants to put this to bed so we can bring it over to the public comment, the planning board, and we're trying to get it on the next agenda for the town meeting, and I'm trying to wrap up this bylaw review committee. 4 years later.
So this is the plan, right? That I shared in up in the cloud. And I think so. There's some comments here that I made. I just was, majority of them were just sort of minor editorial cleanup. There were a couple of references to like Board of Selectmen, change those to Town Council, things like that. But a lot of it was just minor editorial, just cleaning things up, wording, consistency, and so forth. I think Greg, you offered a couple. Kasumi, I thought you added something, or you did them through email, and I might have merged them in here along with mine. So I don't see.
She had comment, Dave, I think at the last meeting,
Yeah,
and she sent the comments, I think, to you and I responded to the bullet points she brought up, basically saying telling her what's involved or not involved, or other things she picked up that were appropriately
Yeah.
questioned.
yeah. So I think they're incorporated. I don't know, Kasumi, you had a chance to go through and double check that we accounted for them. Greg had added excluding menu boxes, see menu boxes section. So is that under internally illuminated signs are prohibited? Excluding menu boxes, see menu boxes.
Yeah, I think I'm just thinking back on the comments now, which has been a little while, but I think it was referencing that they
Backlit.
excluding illuminated signs, but menu boxes was somewhat allowing them to be illuminated.
That actually was in the original. And I think the reason for it is, as you say, Greg, was backlighting, because that's the way those things operate, basically. And any other way would be a little curious.
So spotlights and interior illumination are prohibited. With restrictions for on-off times. Oh, okay. So you had previously made this comment that
Yeah.
maybe we should allow them with restrictions. And then you made that further comment down. So, okay.
That
So that
one
would be
was
yeah.
sorry, that one was also my comment about because the some of the menu box has the glass in, so it's a glass box or like a box with the glass in the front, and then if it's lit from the outside of the box, it reflects on the glass and you can't actually read what's inside the box. So, and I think Jim, you responded to me. So like some of the menu box, the internal lighting should be allowed. So it actually lights the front of the menu and not in front of the glass.
Yeah, yeah, it's lit from the rear as opposed to lit from the front.
So would we want to change this wording?
No,
I
I
guess.
think it's right, in my opinion.
So we keep it as spotlights and interior illumination are prohibited.
Oh, I guess no, not.
No, just the
Interior
spotlights.
illumination is allowed. It's like spotlights are prohibited.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh. Tools. How do I keep comments? So it tracks changes. Sorry, I didn't have that ready. But I can clean that up. So spotlights allowed. I mean, spotlights are prohibited. Interior.
I would say exterior illumination of any sort are prohibited.
My only side comment on that was just interior illuminations permitted with restrictions on on-off times, so they're not on all night, you know.
Yeah,
So typically what we would do, Greg, is once they lit the menu box, then we'd say, okay, what's your hours of operation? And in the O&M limit when they could have any lighting on or off. It wouldn't be in, or at least it hasn't been in the past, in the actual wording for signage. That's kind of set as to the building like we do for gas stations or anybody else.
Right. Lights
Yeah.
on 30 minutes after closing or something. Yeah.
that assumes this type of business would come before the board. It might just go before the signage committee.
But then they could limit hours too.
Yes, they could. But you're looking at this point, you're looking at the rules for signage. So I'm not sure, you'd have to sort of do a lookup to see if there's other areas where it talks about timing. I don't remember. I don't have it in front of me either.
Well, I can understand why you don't remember, but why you don't have it in front of you is a little.
Thanks. I love you too.
You've missed us, haven't you?
Oh, I've been having fun watching the first few that went through.
Oh, geez. You've seen some fun ones.
Yeah. No, I missed the fun ones, thank God.
Yeah. All right. So I'll clean that up. I'm struggling to find where the tracking of changes or adding comments.
Can
Okay.
sorry. So
Yep.
then the interior illumination is permitted. That makes it the menu board like a McDonald's or Dunkin's, those are permitted as long as they turn it off after the business hour. Like those LCD screen menu board on the drive-through.
Like McDonald's drive-through.
Yeah, yeah. Because those are now I guess it's not internally illuminated because they are changing up to the actual
Right. And the other
monitor.
thing is a drive-through like that would come in front of us. So that would not be just a sign.
Is that
review.
under J? Menu boards?
Oh yeah, that was the
Yeah.
J. I think I had it J
Yeah.
4-A, something like that in my email.
Speaker boxes, area, illumination, prohibited.
Yeah. That would prohibit the screens, the menu display boards. They have their own section.
Yep. So we're okay with that. Keeping this as is for menu boards. Okay. So as I said, a lot of mine you can just see or just clean up. So I don't want to certainly spend the time here going through all those. I can accept them all and they'll all just get cleaned up and so forth. But did anyone else have a chance to go through, or do you want to look at any other sections?
No, I think it's ready to go. I think you guys did a great job putting everything together, and we should get it to the planning board because there's going to be comments there, and once other people comment on it, then we can react to those comments. Let's see what other people think.
Okay.
I have
It's my opinion.
I have one more question on Jim and Chip and Tom and so what is the truss mounted light? Is it trough mounted light? Like the long
Trough
one?
mounted
Trough.
trough. It's how do
It's
I
an
explain?
uplight, usually at the bottom, and it could be an LED or it used to be fluorescent lights.
A tube.
Is it like a long bar?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a wash more than anything.
Okay, I wasn't sure what that was.
Yeah, it's like generally it's on the bottom of a sign and lights its way upwards, washing it from the bottom up.
Okay.
All right, that's great. Thank you for everybody for pitching in and taking a look at that. And
All right, so I'll after the meeting, probably tomorrow, I'll accept all these comments, clean it up. I'll clean up that menu thing that we were talking about. And I'll send you an email again, in case you want to take one final look at it tomorrow. But I think we'll, as stated, I think we're good to pass it on. But I just give everyone one last.
I'll give Dave, if you send it around, if I don't hear anything by like Sunday, on Monday, I'll send it over.
Yep, that sounds reasonable. Just give folks a couple days, one final, with all these comments sort of incorporated and it's cleaned up. Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you for doing that, Dave.
Sure.
Thanks.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
Jim, thank you for all the work that you did and have done on this and keep coming back to us because
Well, I
you're
said
a good man.
originally it needs a little combing through, which Dave has done. Thank you. I should mention one thing here, has nothing to do with that particular section of the code, but is the Tuttle Street project that you went through. They can't have a sign on the track side, even though it's not in the overlay district. If some of you might remember what we did for the other signs that were on the track side, basically, they had to come in to the board, basically, to give them dispensation to allow it. But by the signage code, they can only have it on a street or a parking lot. The railroad track is not a street. So they'll have to come in when they come with signage and they put a sign on the track side, then you're going to have to go and look back at what we allowed at the other businesses on the track side. And we allowed it, of course. Made only sense. Just the code didn't allow it.
That's helpful, Jim, but I'm gonna stop the conversation there so we're not deliberating or discussing potential case.
Yeah.
So, but a helpful note, because I think Dave and I referenced, you know, we were trying to figure out when Remax came in. I think that's what we were talking about. Anyway. All right. Everyone good with that approach?
Yes, thank you,
Yes,
everybody.
Thank you. Yeah, Jim, thanks again. You know,
All
just when you think you're out, we pull you back in, you know. Well,
Enjoy
thanks,
Maine,
thanks so
Jim.
much. Yeah,
See ya.
See you,
Thanks,
Jim.
Jim.
thank you.
See ya.
Take care.
See ya.
All right, moving on, we are on to clerk and board comments. Anybody?
No, but I'm
Other
just
than-
curious, and I know Brian's not here anymore, but any word on Broadway? Because they're gonna be coming back, I'm assuming, coming back to us for another extension. Mike's Gym / 100 units. I don't know if that hasn't, Amy, if you know, and they haven't come for a permit, have they?
No, no permits issued.
That's been about a year now, so.
But
And
Molise,
Joe, did you do
Molise
any
built
of
it.
your, Joe, did you do any of your walkthroughs?
I have not heard from Brian yet, no.
Okay.
Good rumor has it the Molise building has a permit.
Yes, that's correct.
But
I'd
we
love to
haven't
see
looked at those plans yet.
Yeah.
We have to sign off on those plans before there's a permit.
So did they already go to the vendor? Like that third party that looks at the plans and they come back to us?
Third party. I think I heard from Peter that I want to say that from Felix. Felix is the one that looks at them. I think they're in his hands, or he already approved them. I forget.
Right, but we
It's
still
been a
have a
while.
condition that we look through them
Yeah.
to make sure that they're what they're supposed to. So the condition is always whether it's a third party or not. I know Ben's using a third party, but that doesn't eliminate us looking at it because the third party has no clue what we approved or didn't approve.
Well, I
So
guess
we have to take our approved plans versus what they're looking for a permit and compare them.
well, they could file a demo permit, right? No, not even that.
I
So
thought they already
I
had
guess they
that.
could file for a demo permit,
I thought
but
they
they
already
can't
had
get a
that.
building permit until
Right.
supposedly per our conditions until we've looked at them and
Yeah.
said they meet all our standards. And that's just a matter of going through page by page and making sure they didn't change the design, didn't change the window types, didn't change the colors, all that stuff, which the third party person wouldn't know.
Chip, I can certainly follow up with the building inspector in the morning in regards to that. I'm
Yeah,
not,
there's a stamp, Amy, there's a stamp that traditionally gets stamped on and which one of us comes down, signs off on it on the plan.
okay.
So they may not be that far along. Maybe he's only done demos so far,
Mhm.
but you can look back on the conditions
Yes,
and take a look at that. And if he's at that stage and needs one of us to come down and look at it, we should figure out a time to do that.
okay, yes, I'll definitely follow up with them tomorrow and
Great.
double check the permit as well that was issued. I can't remember exactly what it was for.
I know they were before the town council like the end of last year and they were held to the feet to the fire like we want a building permit by the end of the year. And here we are, June. Right. It's like, the fear was that it was just going to drag on and it seems to be. But
Keep it moving forward for sure.
yeah. But it sounded like the town council was sort of holding their feet to the fire. We didn't necessarily have to do it, but the hope was that it just kept moving. And it just seems to be going very, very slowly, glacially. But anyway.
All right. Any other comments, questions from board?
No.
All right, that brings us to the approval of minutes.
Someone else should probably make it this time. I wasn't here last time.
Yeah, we got minutes from May 28th. Dave was not there, so
I
somebody
move
should
that we
make-
approve the minutes written as written for the 28th.
Second.
Okay, this is a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody against? No, okay, it's approved. At this
Motion to
point,
adjourn.
always in order. Get a second?
Second.
Voice vote again. All those in favor? Aye.
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 Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
the weekend. Have a good
Thanks.
night.
Good night.
Have a good night.
Everybody.